live. I have a mic. I have a mic. All right. Command undo. Yep. Welcome. Can y'all find me? Get into the live. Okay. Let's do this. Share. Copy. And we're going to hop over this full moon this morning. This full moon. Wrong thing. Back. Telling y'all. Spiritual brew. Command V. New link. Okay. We have sound. Okay, good morning. Good morning. You know what? I'm going to blame the no sound technical difficulties on this full moon. I did share it in the group. So hopefully people get it in there. Maria, are you back in with us yet? I gotta go back in. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta get everything. This is what a morning. Okay. So we're gonna try this again. Hopefully, it's one of those two. Yay, Maria, you did find it. Okay. So let me latest popular home. Okay. Latest popular home. There we go. Okay. So, well, we can see how the full moon is going for me today. And yeah, it's already a doozy. Been told I gotta be patient in several areas. Yeah, today is just one of them days. So more than likely, I can't speak today. There's gonna be something I can't say or pronounce right. So just join me for the ride. We're here for it. Okay. Good morning. Now that we've had the technical difficulties out of the way, and we have gotten we're back on track. We can begin our grounding methods. So this is Tea Time with Lady M. I am Lady M. I am also Roberta. Lady M is my spiritual name. Roberta is my given name. Feel free to call me whatever you want or whatever you're comfortable with. Last week we talked about clairs. We talked about 3 of them. This week we're going to talk about 3 more. So last week we talked about clairvoyance. We talked about clairaudience, clairsentience, and Christy, your break parts, I saw that. You'll have to explain that one to me later. So clairvoyance is clear seeing. It's we can see things. We can just see things. It's that are not necessarily in this realm. So it could be spirits. It could be things that we see out of like the corner of our eye. Clairaudience is clear hearing. So it's when we can visibly pick up on those audible sounds that nobody else is picking up on. And it could be even a distant thing that you're used to. So for me, every once in a while, I will pick up on my husband when he gets in our vehicle. I know that. So yeah, that's clairaudience. And then clairsentience is clear feeling, right? Yeah, clear feeling, which is we can feel things. It's those little tingles or those weather changes or hot, cold, those little those little sensations. So this week we're moving into welcome, whoever is joining us. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel to interact with us, or at least like the video and subscribe to the channel to interact. So welcome. I see 4 people are in. So okay, we're gonna go over claircognizance. We're gonna go over clairalience and clairgustance. Now, there's going to be clairalience and clairgustance. There's not a lot of research on. So when we get into it, just bear with me. But these ones are clear knowing, clear smelling, clear tasting. So since our Clairs have to do with some of our smelling and taste senses. I figure we could go back and we could revisit a grounding method that is one of my favorites to do on a daily basis when I'm drinking tea in the morning. So, what you do, and I'm doing it with this one because I do have a new tea from Lake Missoula Tea Company, the Lemon Rose Black anniversary blend. It's very delightful. I do have a couple more teas coming from another tea company. Good morning, Melanie, from another tea company. So that does make a difference. So I'll be able to try that and give my experience. So grab your favorite drink, whatever you have in front of you. Could be your soda, your tea, your coffee, your water. Yes, you can do this with water. But what you're going to do is you're going to take a drink or a sip of your tea or whatever you're drinking, and you're going to savor that flavor. You're going to try to pinpoint what you taste. You're enhancing those taste buds. And then you can also smell it. Is the smell different from what you expect to taste? What are those things? So, this is the lemon rose black tea, or yeah, black tea with oolong tea, a lemon myrtle and rose. Okay. So for me, this one, the oolong tea it really comes out. Oolong tea, if you've never had it, it's a very earthy tea. Very delightful. So like this one is like a very like it reminds me of vanilla and almond with that little hint of a lemony, I don't know, like a lemony glaze, I guess. And a little bit of rose. You get the rose at the end. So that is one of my favorite grounding methods to do. And it just ties in perfect. So why not? And I have to have, fancy tea stirrers that have to poke me in the eye. So not used to it. But I use a spoon all the time. Makes sense, right? Okay. So Claire cognizance. Now, you're going to find that these three Claires are not officially in the dictionary, but the first three are. So I did have to do a little bit of research. I had to do these things. I had to dig in a little bit deeper for these, but it's just the basics. And I am curious to know um, if they ever do more research. Like it kind of, yeah. And your clairs, if your clairs are open, chances are your mediumship is opening too. So just keep that in mind. So claircognizant, we know that Claire is clear, right? Cognizant, even though claircognizant isn't in the dictionary, cognizant is. So I can give that definition. So then you can put clear to cognizant. So, cognizance is a noun. It's a distinguishing mark or emblem, such as a heraldic bearing, knowledge, awareness, notice of acknowledgement, jurisdiction, and responsibility. So, that comes directly from the dictionary. That's what it means. It has four little snippets of what cognizance means. So, how do you know if you're cognizant? Well, if you're cognizant, you're clear knowing, and you've probably experienced this without knowing. Maybe you've been in a situation and all of a sudden you are talking to somebody you've never talked about the subject before, and you just know. That's a clear knowing. Um, I've had that happen to me several times, and I've been clear knowing for apparently a lot longer than I have realized. I will say most of my clairs are completely and fully open, especially since I quit smoking. So that does make a difference. Nicotine, that is nicotine. I still use cannabis. So signs that you're clear cognizant. Okay, you could be clear knowing. So, for example, like I was in the military and I'd be having a conversation, and I was one of those people, like I was to the book. I got my job done the way it needed to be. And then if somebody asked me a question, like even if it didn't pertain to my job, I'd be like, just spit it out completely fine. And they'd be like, Well, how do you know that? I don't know. I just do. And that would be my response. I didn't know that it was my clear cognizance. And if I use that in the military, they'd look at me like I was even weirder. Like, um, you're weird. Why are you even in the military? Do you need some help? That's what they would have looked at me. Unfortunately, that's the military. So You I have the ability to tell when someone is being fake or genuine. And that's when it comes to, like, I hate to say this, don't judge a book by its cover, but I am very good. I can go into a situation. I know if you're being fake or if you're being real with me. And if you're being fake, I'm going to put up my guards. Because that means that if you're being fake now, what other things can you be deceitful about? So I'm very knowing, I'm very aware of what that person is doing. Do I judge them? No, but it could also be them putting on a front to put up their own barriers. So because they're uncomfortable or their fear, or maybe they just feel like the need that they need to project onto others. So just keep that in mind. Fake people may not necessarily be fake. They may be hiding, giving that fake persona. Yes, Maria. People come to you for answers for their problems. If you are, especially if you're an empath, a lot of people are going to come to you for as a beacon, and they're going to um ask you questions, and you just randomly know the answers. You don't know how. You don't have to look it up in a book. You don't have to go off in Timbuktu. And I will say, I do have clear knowing, but I do my research. So it's not just, I'm not pulling it out of thin air. I do my research. I gather my own opinion from different people, and I put it together, and I try to share it all of what I find, because there is a lot and not everybody shares everything at the same time. So that's clear knowing. Let's see. Get instant ideas and have to share them. Some people, especially if you're a creator, if you are in depth and you're creating something and you're like, okay, well, how about we get this done, and we do this. What about at this side? Then it becomes, you're now being able to bounce ideas till you can get to the final thing. And that's like a clear knowing. An idea may not be perfect, but if you can bounce those ideas and communicate, then you can get to a clear knowing. So it's just giving you those signs. uh, you spend a lot of time thinking or writing on your own. So this could be journaling. This could be writing. Maybe you're writing poems. Maybe you're doing writing songs. Maybe you're writing a book. All of those things, like, you're clear knowing, you're tapping into your higher self to be able to write these things down. Maybe it's just a past life regression. Maybe you're tapping into your higher self and you are just writing to write. You're doing an automatic writing. You no idea what you're writing in the moment, but when you go back and read it, it makes complete sense. But you don't remember writing it. That's a clear knowing. A form of clear knowing, I should say. Innate and innate and an innate sense that tells you when something is good or an idea or not. So, like I said, when it comes down to it, you may not be working with somebody else. Maybe you come up with an idea and you share it out loud, and there's nobody there. So you start bouncing those ideas off yourself. You start knowing, like, okay, is this going to work? Is this going to work? Okay. Then you start whittling the project down to what it's meant to be. Um Hello to whoever just joined. I see we have 5. Make sure you subscribe to interact with myself and others. Maybe you have hello, good morning, Auntie. Maybe you have a knack for finding lost items. I will tell you, I do not have a knack for finding lost items. I am the person that loses everything. Takes me 2 hours to find it, if not longer. Yeah, I do have some stories about that one. So clear knowing where lost items are, that's me, not me, not me. I'm like the person where, the lost sock goes in the dryer, and you have to dig through it. Yeah. I'm the person who, when I moved into my house, we got a U-Haul, and I had the U-Haul keys on me, which, had also the keys to their padlock and to start the engine. So yeah, I lost those. We were fully packed in the U-Haul, didn't get it. Yeah, no, that my clear cognizance was not kicking fully on those terms. So we ended up digging through the entire U-Haul that was packed, ready to go to the house, drop stuff off, no U-Haul keys. And it's 9 o'clock at night. Shit. Well, U-Haul doesn't open till 9 o'clock the next day, and I have to have the U-Haul back by 11 o'clock the next day without having to rent it again. So we scrambled, and right before they opened, I found the U-Haul keys. And they weren't in the U-Haul. They were buried in a box and got misplaced. So yeah, my clear cognizance was not with me that day, and put everything behind schedule. But it worked out the way it was supposed to. You can make last minute decisions, and usually being right. So that gut feeling, maybe that gut feeling's coming up and you're like, maybe we should go home. This isn't the time we should be being here. You never stop learning. You always stop. You always have the knack of wanting to grow. So coming here and learning about the clears, that's that wanting to know. That there's something deeper out there. That eventually, that if you're getting a piece to your puzzle now that you're putting together later on, it's that clear knowing. When things come together and you're like, and you piece all those pieces together in your journey, and you're just like, oh my God, that makes sense. Like, wow. And you just have to stop, and you're just kind of mesmerized by the moment, because that clear knowing, you're just like, okay, I understand it now. I can move forward. And then the next thing is you get pulling down another rabbit hole to start learning something else. Could be a past life regression. It could be maybe you're on your healing journey and you really need to dive into that healing journey and not really give up. Sometimes it takes that consistent 365 days of work to be able to snap yourself out and being willing to do it. You can pick up new skills incredibly fast. You know who calls before your phone even rings. Psychic instincts. You can interrupt people and tell them what they're about to say. My hubby will do that to me. I've done that to others. That comes with clear knowing. And is it a part of the ego? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just, we know, and we can get the point across a little bit faster than what you're trying to, without confusing people. Sometimes we do confuse people. I do. Anyways, we like to be problem solvers. Maybe you are given a situation. It could be in your relationship. It could be in your working fields, where you're given a problem, and they're like, hey, fix this problem, make it more efficient for us. And you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I don't know how to do this. But then you start getting with your team and you collaborate and you start problem solving together. It's still a clear knowing, because you're getting those ideas out. You're talking about them. How to develop your clear cognizance. There is, like your other clairs, you're going to want to do the healing journey. You're going to want to do the shadow work. You're going to work on yourself. Make sure that your ego's not coming in check. You're making sure that those negative toxins that were once in your garden, you are weeding them out and you are throwing them away. They are now becoming mulch. They're becoming new earth. And we're allowing those new flowers to grow, allow those new people to come in. So when we're doing that, we're removing that negative space and bringing in that positive. When we bring in that positive, things like our soul families, they start clicking into place. Like, you're part of my soul family. Like, we've been together for not just this life, but other lifetimes as well. Those is just that clear knowing. It's a beautiful thing. Past lives start to coming together. All that the pieces that you once had that are scattered are now fitting more imageries of what you're seeing, what you're here to do, your mission. That's the clear knowing. So, can I ask this? How many of you know what your mission is on this earth? What your soul's mission is? Have you discovered it? I have. I'm still discovering it because I do not just have one mission. I have multiple missions. Some are personal, some are geared towards individuals, some are just all over the place. My main mission, though, my main soul's mission, and you'll hear me say this, I am a person, I go into the darkness and I find those souls that are absolutely lost and they're looking for their way back. And they're saying, hey, help me, please, please. I just need to get back on the right track. I'm a shadow worker. I bring those people into the light. Now, if you ask my husband, he's still on the journey of learning. I do know what he is. He is actually the opposite of me. He is a light worker. He actually works people in the light. So those people who are having those everyday problems, they go up and they talk to him, and they release what they need to, and they move along their journey. So he is absolutely a light worker. He does not find those lost souls. He finds those ones that are teetering, but he provides more light for them. So that's what his mission is. And he's still discovering it. I don't even know what his full mission is until he decides to open up to it. So that's until he knows, that's up to him. It's just clear knowing. I know what his a part of his mission is. I don't know what his full mission is, but I know a part of what his mission is. Um you can develop rituals that increase your sensitivity and intuition. So maybe you find yourself on TikTok, you find yourself on YouTube, or you find yourself on Facebook, anywhere where they have like the little shorts or even videos where you can go in and type in intuition test, and they have like the hand test or the cup test where they take the cup or three cups and they place something under it and they're saying, okay, guess what's under it, what cup or what crystal, or where is my crystal at, which cup is it, one, two, or three. That's learning to use your intuition. That's learning to use your psychic abilities. That's learning to use that clear cognizance, that clear knowing. The more you practice, the better, the more it becomes more enlightening, the easier it becomes. Because again, 21 days to make a habit. That's all it does. So if you're practicing for 21 days, by that 21st day, you're going to be like, man, this is cakewalk, and you're ready to add something new to it. I promise you that. I absolutely promise you. And then once you feel in routine and you're ready for your ritual, then you don't need to add anything. It's smooth sailing. So for me, I get up in the mornings at 4 o'clock in the morning. Anywhere I've been given a little leeway. I've been close to 5 last week, but hey, so they I developed that ritual, and I ask for any messages. I do my things. I do my morning polls, and I say I used to spend anywhere from an hour to 3 hours doing my morning polls. My morning polls generally last about 30 minutes now, if not quicker. So it's just developing that inner that ritual. Invite your spirit guides into your life. So knowing who your spirit guides are, clear knowing who's showing up for you on what day. Are you having a rough day, or are you having a great day? So for me, like my spirit guide, I have a lot, especially in the animal realm, kingdom. I have lots of animals, but one that always likes to show up for me is my fin. So if my fin is my sea turtle, if he's showing up, then something good's happening. And it's also tied to my sun. So I have that to look forward to as well. So big things are happening. I'm excited, and manifesting is such a huge thing. So clear knowing, following those signs, let's see. Visualization exercises, journaling. So we talked about writing, automatic writing, getting in those habits. You don't even have to do automatic writing. You can just set yourself up and just write a question out and write your answer out, and don't think about the answer. Don't just write what the first thing that comes to your mind and just keep writing. I personally, automatic writing for me is not one that I do. Um, my guides, I have tried and tried and tried automatic writing. I've tried different methods. How I do my automatic, I do automatic drawings. So if you haven't seen my drawings, they're very in depth. They give messages. Sometimes it's a clear picture. Sometimes there's pictures inside pictures. And no matter which way you turn it, there's another message that you're seeing. So mine come out in automatic drawings. Embracing your abilities, trusting yourself. Music can help. Zenner cards. So I have found Zenner cards are little cards. Oh, my nose itches. Zenner cards are little cards that have images on them. So you can have your partner will look at the card and they'll set it down. You don't see it. And then you have to try to try to visually see what they're looking at without seeing it, and say it out loud. So that's what Zenner cards are. And I do think I may get some because they do seem fun and great exercises to help with a group. Let's see. Make time for intuitive guidance. So if you're making time for yourself and you're doing that self-work, make the time for that intuitive guidance. Make the time to open that third eye. And when I tell you, it's such a difference, and believe me, you can tone it down and you can raise it back up to where you need to. Right now, I have it toned down quite a bit because I'm in a year of solitary, and I'm opening to my gifts of what I am discovering, not of what I can do or know what I can do. So I have a lot of gifts toned down at the moment. All right. So we're going to get into, and these next two will probably go pretty quick because, again, there was not a lot of information. But when we talk about smell and we talk about taste, they do go hand in hand because they connect to our sinus cavities. Believe it or not, so do our taste buds. It's weird to think that, but yes, our taste does go hand in hand with our sinus cavities. And if you're ever, and I will preach this till the day I die, if you're taking allergy medicine on a consistent daily basis, especially right now, stop. Because I have not taken allergy medicine in years. Here's why. Local honey, not the store-bought honey, local honey. Local honey has all of your natural pollens in it. And natural honey is your natural antihistamine. So it works as a natural allergy medicine. So yes, I'm very religious with my honey. I cook with it. I drink it in my tea. Honey goes in everything. I actually substitute honey for sugar in most of my cooking recipes. So fun tip, honey. So Clair Aliens is let's see. Clair is the act of tasting. So, fun fact, Clair Aliens, there is 1, 2, 3 other Clair names for this. Clair Essence, Clarification, and Clarosimus. Clarosimus. Simus. That's a weird word. So Clair Aliens, highly developed sense of smell. So maybe spirit is sending you sense of smell things in, oh my goodness, this full moon. Technical difficulties. I told you I wouldn't be able to talk today. That's okay. So highly developed sense of smell. Maybe the spirits are sending you signs of smell. If you have done a past life regression, or maybe you wake up to the smell of smoke, there is a reason for it. There is a past life for it. You may have been in a time frame where a coven of witches went on a rampage. That's the nicest way to put it. And a lot of innocent lives were taken, and you may have been an innocent bystander in that thing. Does that happen to me? Yes, it does. Why does it still happen? I'm not sure, because I've unlocked it, I've pieced it together, but I do believe that there is some life lessons that I still need to learn from that past life regression. So that's why I'm still getting those smells. Um you can also um, you can get sudden fits of sneezing. Sometimes them angels, I will get it all the time. Even though it's not an allergy, I don't feel sick or anything. It's just like sometimes I go more than my normal 2 or 3 sneezes, and I'll get 6 to 9, and I'm like, ugh, that's gross. It happens, not all the time, but it happens. So yeah, that's your clear aliens. When you smell your tea, it's like it's like a I smell the lemon and the rose more than I taste the lemon and the rose, if that makes sense. But the longer it sits, you do get more of that rose flavor, especially at the end. So you can also smell a person in their absence. Maybe they are deceased. Maybe they are just away from you for a couple days, or a week or a month, and all of a sudden, just a smell comes over. They could be thinking of you. That spirit could be trying to get in contact with you. Could be a loved one. I don't really get the smells. I get more of the taste. Taste is a weird one. Yes, Christy. You can, let's see, certain scents. You can pick up on certain scents. So maybe you are in your garden and you can tell when your lilies are blooming, or maybe the soil. Like, ever since I have quit smoking, this is the second time I've quit smoking. I don't plan on going back. 6 months, 6 months I've been clean, of no nicotine. So it's still, my lungs are still processing my Nana's perfume. Um, how often do you get that, Maria? Sounds like maybe she's trying to get your attention more often than you think. Try connecting with her. Let's see, you can also develop us if you are Claire aliens, and I'm glad that this one doesn't do this for me. But if you're Claire aliens, you can not often at all. When she does come around, it sounds like she may be trying to get your attention. So see what you're doing and kind of feel it out. Maybe talk to her. Um, it's beautiful. My grandpa comes to me more in touch, and he does silly things, plays tricks on me, and does all of those lovely things. So yeah, I get my grandpa. And if you knew him in person, you knew he was a trickster. You knew. I mean, he put an alarm on the food pantry when I was a teenager, because I like to sneak in the food pantry and eat. And, not expecting an alarm, and you open the door and it, wah, 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 wah. Yep. You got a teenage granddaughter running down the hall screaming her head off, and a grandpa who's sitting in his chair laughing his ass off. Yeah, that was my grandpa. Me too. Miss him like bunches, but I know he's with me. He was an amazing man. Stubborn as all get out. Stubborn. Amazing artist. Yes. I love his paintings. love the ones that I have. My son even has a few to put in his room to hang up. So yes, I loved his art. You can also get sense of decaying or deceased. So maybe you are picking up somebody's illness, um, or their sickness. So maybe they have cancer, they have liver failure, they're internally decaying, they're rotten, and you can smell that. It's not a pleasant smell, but I can't say that I have. But you can pick up on it with Claire aliens. Quit. Clover. Ah, ah. Sorry, squirrels are outside. They're back for the spring and summer. Clover, quit. Anyways, so, uh, oops, the hubby's calling. I'll call him back. But anyway, so you can smell certain scents, smells you haven't smelled before. Um, those can come up. So it may be something that maybe you're smelling this and you're like, what is that? It could be good. It could be bad. You could smick, pick up the smells of low vibrational people um, that are not healing, that are not moving forward. They're not doing these things. Um, you can let's see, other things you can do to strengthen your clairaudience. You can meditate. You can envision. So when you go into meditation, you can um envision smells, have the spirits bring up smells, ask what it is, get used to smelling it. You can also quit. You can also take like your spices or your herbs, practice smelling it. Practice smelling it. I'm not opening it, sorry. But you can practice smelling it. It's just right there in reach. So you can practice smelling your herbs and do that on a daily basis. That heightens your awareness. So you can eventually know what the difference between garlic salt, onion salt, garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, tarragon. You can know your spices and just be able to do that. Avoid sensations that dull your sense of taste and smell. So if you smoke cigarettes, that is a huge inhibitor. Alcohol can be an inhibitor as well. Anything spicy foods, um, lots of salty or sweet, those can inhibit your sense of taste to smell and taste. Man, I cannot talk to taste and sense of smell. You can smell more things. Open your throat chakra. So you can, because again, it's connected to your sinuses. Your sinuses are connected to your throat. So you can open your throat, smell more things. Clairgustance, it's the same concept. Clairgustance, maybe you're experiencing random tastes instead of smells. It could be metallic, it could be coppery, it could be maybe it's a food taste. There's different things that can come up. Spirits can communicate via taste. So maybe they had a favorite food and all of a sudden you're tasting pizza, but there's not pizza anywhere in sight. Now you're just tasting pizza. Maybe you're tasting cheese. Those are types of things you're picking up on. I have been very clairgustant. I like to go to different places and I like to savor the herbs. I like to taste like what they put in. I'm like, okay, there's only been one place when I went to Seattle and they put parsley in. I was not familiar with parsley and yeah, it got me. So tasting things, tasting new things, activating your palate. Again, staying away from that sweet, that salty, the spicy. Those are things that can mess up your palates and really do damage. Because did you know that what's his face? I can see him in my head. Famous chef owns several restaurants, has sold several restaurants. My husband's an ultimate, and he'd be upset because I should know this, but the name is not there. Anyways, he actually has insurance on his tongue. Gordon Ramsay. There we go. Chef Gordon Ramsay. Chef Gordon Ramsay actually has his tongue insured because it is that valuable with his cooking because he can taste things. That's how clairgustant is that he has to have insurance on his things. So he cannot have extremely spicy things. He has a contract that says no extreme spicy things. They have to tell him beforehand or they can get in trouble. So yeah, If he has any damage to his tongue, he has insurance on his tongue. So if you need insurance on a body part, you can absolutely do it. You can taste flavors with objects, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how that one works. I don't know if you touch an object and it becomes like a coppery taste or if it becomes plastic taste. I don't know how that really works. Um, so yeah, those are the Clairs. Even with our technical difficulties, this last week we went over. So this week we get a makeup and we get to shorten a little bit. And we're going to end with our moonology because why it is the full moon. And I think it's very appropriate for today because apparently, we had issues today. Issues. Um, so I want to say thank you for everyone that has showed up today. I really, really appreciate it. I know that all of you have subscribed to the channel. It would be really beneficial if you also like the video as well, because not only does this video get out, but it helps others get it who did not necessarily see our live. So liking it does help. All right. Good morning. Do you guys have any questions of any of the Clairs? Good morning, Moonology. What messages do we have for people today on this full moon and this week? Messages. All right. 3 more shuffles. Whoop. Come on. 2, maybe. 2 more. And last shuffle. All right. We got 3. Ooh, cool. So this is really cool because it is talking to our clair senses. It is talking to our our intuition and everything. And it's so funny because the full moon is it is an intuition. Does involve our emotions. So the first one that comes across is talk to the moon, communicate. So with it being a full moon and all this energy, talk to it. What are you manifesting? What are you trying to let go? Talk to it. Maybe those things, that clear knowing, those signs will come and you'll see it come out. The next one is moon circles. It's support. You're not alone in the journey. You're really not. Find those people that you vibrate with and that you can learn and grow with. You have the support. You can find it under the full moon. There are plenty of circle groups out there that you can join and do a support circle for this full moon, because there's a lot going on. It's a really, really high intense full moon, even though it may not feel like it for some. The next one is going to be Moonlight Serenade. Change your tune. What perspective do we need to change that we can learn to go with flow? Is it that one note that's hitting off tune that is saying, okay, hey, this isn't the right path. Maybe we should try something different. Change your tune. What can we do? What can you do with communicating, supporting, and changing your tune? It's all beautiful and it all ties into your clair senses as well. It's a beautiful pull with our full moon. I do appreciate all of you for coming and for all of those that are showing up afterwards. So thank you so much. And I hope you all have a beautiful week.